Over the next few weeks, Vector3D is finally going to be moving out of the spare room in my flat. So I thought I'd give you a quick kind of studio tour, office tour kind of thing, show you the absolute mess in which I work, and then that'll be that. We'll move into the new one and I'll show you around that one. This video is not sponsored by any external company, but it is supported by my own shop, Vector3D.shop. So if you're grateful for what I've done here, want to see more like it, or just interested in some cool 3D printing gear, please consider supporting by grabbing something from the shop today. Starting with this random ironing board that I have for some reason. Let's not worry about that too much. Mostly here, I'm just kind of storing a lot of parts, like hot ends, control boards, glues, lubricants, kind of wiring management stuff, and a bunch of wires and things. Lots of storage. Further down, we mainly keep filament. As you can see, that's just kind of spilling out onto the floor. I keep a bunch of fasteners in there as well. Generally the less regularly used ones, so like M5 and M2, whereas the M3 I tend to keep out to be a bit more accessible. Moving over here, we have the kind of print station, which I use quite a bit. So up the top, we have two Bambi Labs X1 Carbon. I do use them quite a lot, just because they're kind of work, you know. Down the bottom, the Voron 2.4, which I currently have built. It has had some issues with the tool headboard, so unfortunately it doesn't get used as much as I would want to, but you know, that's kind of the way it is. And then tucked away here, because I don't really use them at the moment, is the Ratrig V Minion and Prusa Mini. Moving around to the side, we have a bunch of kind of storage stuff, again, loads of filament, and at the top, a bunch of soldering irons for VLMP, because we need lots of them, and they take a while to get here. Round to the next bit, we have another workbench. I did build this one, as I did this one actually over here. This was all built by hand, so I probably won't be moving these. These are probably going to go now. They're a little bit past their best, and I think some metal construction would be nicer. So here I had, this is like the only space I have, because this is where I'm doing a bunch of the manufacture for Huxley. So we've got a bunch of the different rods and stuff that I was testing, like steel, brass, carbon rods and stuff. And my Prusa, which is very old now, upgraded to the Mark 3.5. But overall, I mean, parts of it I've had around since what, like 2017, 2018, maybe even 2016. I don't know, quite a little while. Up the top, this is where I generally keep my most accessed fasteners. So in the new space, I do want to make sure I maintain something like this, because having these very easily available does help a lot when it comes to like just trying to assemble things in a reasonable time frame without having to dig out a new box every time I need a new fastener. Moving past here for now, into this corner, just sort of a bin of plastic parts. This is a bunch of the prototype parts that I had for Vector3D Huxley. Again, I had to build the whole thing a few times in a row just to kind of refine the design and make sure it's kind of functional and can be built easily. And then over here, I keep a bunch of boxes of kind of project parts. So things generally like TD1, V Minion, like the divider PCB stuff. I've got a box there of another Voron 2.4, which I have disassembled and not built into something new yet. And some other things at the back that are just like project parts collected separately to other storage. And then this A1 Mini is out and set up kind of printing TPU. This built a lot of the tracks that I have for my Death Racer for Smurf 2024. The next thing here is the Vector3D workbench. So this is an extrusion-based workbench. I've got a big old calculator and stuff that I use to do this. It's a kind of general workbench design. I tried to like customize it and add filament storage and stuff. In the end, I mostly just use it as a shelf at the top, because that's the most flexible way to do it. Although enclosure stuff is optional, but quite expensive. In the new year, I'm hoping to maybe revive this project a little bit, relook over the new pricing structure and stuff, make a new calculator, hopefully maybe, I don't know, do something to make it more popular. Because I think it's really, really good, but it is a little bit inaccessible at the moment, so I'd like to improve that. Because if you want a workbench, something customizable that you can just plug in the width and size and height and stuff that you want is really ideal. Standard sizes, generally kind of annoying. So given we got extrusion and quick connectors, it's very easy to assemble. But yes, that's the workbench. The printers I have down here, this is the A1. This was printing the maker chips, again for Smurf 24. And this is the VZBot 235 that I was using. That's disassembled at the moment, partly just to make space, partly because I wasn't really using it. I found the design a little bit unfinished, so didn't really get much time using that. So generally I try to keep the space fairly clear, and it's a good durable like melamine top as well, so that's great for doing stuff that might be a bit messy. This box here is the Electropie parts. So a lot of them are assembled, some still to assemble, but there you go, that's those. They're kind of part assembled from JSA PCB, as you can see, not sponsored, but there is some finishing assembly work that I do have to do. My Voron V0 sits at the back here. I don't use this all of the time at the moment. As I said, I'm mostly using the Bambu Labs just because for production stuff, I just need something that's super reliable. This printer has been pretty reliable, but the sheet's a bit damaged, and I didn't bother to get a new one. So yes, it is what it is. This is the old VLMP. We didn't have this at the show this year. The other ones, I normally keep those here as well, but they're in the other room. They're disassembled because I've just got back from Smurf. And as I said, at the top, we do a bunch of filament storage. So that's pretty much that. So yes, that is my studio. It is a bit of a mess. There is lots of stuff kind of everywhere. My hair's a bit of a mess as well. The lighting's not great in here. As you can see, like standard spotlights that we typically have in houses in the UK, they're not very good in terms of general lighting. Whereas the new studio has this really nice, like even glow LED lighting stuff. So hopefully that'll be better for filming as well. Although obviously I do have filming lights for doing that. But yes, that's the studio / spare room, of which I'm now going to be moving out and finally getting a bigger, better space for doing this YouTube stuff. So this is the new office. A nice big space that's suddenly starting to feel quite small already. Let me show you around. We'll start at the door so you know what's going on. Starting at the front of the office, we've got our kind of project bench and general organization. So this stuff at the top on the left-hand side, this is orders that are going out today. That big box is just waste that's going outside. This over here is a bunch of plastic boxes that I bought to be able to put things in that will be shipped out. We'll have a look at that in a little minute. This is just some old 3D prints. These are just now our various different projects that are sort of going on at the moment. So we have the Huxley here, we got Voron 2.4 upgrade parts here. We have TD1 assembly things. We've got over here stepper motor analyzer parts, so I'm printing a bunch of cases for the next version of stepper motor analyzer. That'll be coming soon. Then down here, the positron, which I've had for months and still not had time to build, and a bunch of other various bits and bobs. Over this side, this is a kind of 3D printing area, so the printers that I'm running at the moment, as I mentioned, Voron 2.4 is going to be upgraded soon, and along the top, just a bunch of filament for those printers. Down the bottom, just more general storage of stuff. Over on here, this is our range of VLMPs. They're in various states of disrepair, having just sort of come back from the exhibition at Smurf and have to go through an office move and just sort of been dumped there while I deal with other things. The oldest one we have here is the VLMP1. This was our basically first kind of production design, the first one that we sold as a kit. So that's that one. And then the second one, VLMP2. This is like the second iteration of this version here. Basically just upgraded with some sort of more covering and more industrial look parts. Then we have the VLMP Pro. This was our first fully complete kit, so with soldering iron and kind of more bespoke parts. This was more targeted towards like a small business that was probably spending a little bit more money and wanted a little bit more durability or whatever to go with that. So we put linear rails, metal base and that kind of stuff. And then the very funky one, which you may not have seen, is this. This one right here is VLMP Auto. Obviously it's not functional at the moment, but you stick a pine seal in here, plug that in the top, and then you just basically press the button, it comes down, presses the insert in to the perfect height, and then comes back up. It's absolutely incredible. It runs Clipper. You might have seen Taylor or Vector3D, Cannot Creator, creating a video on this at Smurf, because this is what we had at Smurf, so you would have only seen it probably if you've seen videos of that, or if you were there. So yes, this is my fully Clipper-based heatset insert press. Maybe we'll have a kit of that at some point. It would be cool, but it is a kind of bonkers project. And then there's a sink for some reason. Over this space, we've got some things where I don't really know what to do with. So that palette will be going. That board is what I have like secret things written on, my project plans. So that's why that's turned around. And then this is the Huxley, which we are shipping out to Ellie from Cocoa Press. That'll be going out very soon. So yeah, that area will be clear, and I don't know what to put there yet. Let me know if you have any suggestions. Next, we have a bunch of parts that will be just kind of general parts storage, if you like. So like all the things like screws, fans, control boards, like glues, tapes, motors, drivers, everything like that is all just here. I try to keep stuff as organized as I can and labeled, and these are a new organization up here that I created recently. These are quite cheap boxes you can get from China, and then I've just put labels and like various boxes on the side. You can print them quite quickly. And oh dear, that's going to be a test. Ta-da! Excellent. Yes, they work. So yes, that's the general parts. Next we have the shop area. So starting off over here, this is like CNC kitchen zone. So heatset inserts, insert tools, deburrers, all these kinds of things that we have from CNC Kitchen. Bunch of things for VLMP. We have the electropies up in here. This is like the first version that we sell. It's actually version like 3.1. Yes, you can see version 3.1 in there. 3D printed case, just to keep it secure during shipping. Yep, that's that. Yeah, a bunch of different things. Pine seal and just other general shop storage. Over here, obviously a bunch of cardboard boxes for doing shipping. VLMP Pro stuff down the bottom. More VLMP stuff here. We're nearly out of VLMP, so we need to get some more of those. Ember prototypes, edamame, and then a bunch of soldering irons and other cardboard box stuff. You do need a lot of things for having a shop, it turns out, so it takes a lot of space. And then over here is kind of the cookie CAD area. So we've got absolutely boatloads of cookie CAD ready to go immediately. We've just updated our shipping prices recently, so if it was a bit expensive before, it might be worth double checking that now. And we have a wider range of weights we can also ship, so hopefully that will help anyone looking to get some filament in particular. That stuff up the top is not for sale. This is just extra filament storage of my own. Opposite all of this filament, we have the packing station. So again, a selection of cardboard boxes, computer, space for packaging, printing labels, manifest, all that kind of stuff. And then we keep some of the just basic camera gear like video, lighting and stuff that I'm not really using too much at the moment, all under there. So obviously this is all on the Vector3D workbench, a design that I released a couple of years ago, and I want to be able to get that kind of digital calculator, which at the moment only I have access to, into a web-based calculator, a bit like Cauliflower and Calilantern. So you can just plug in all the different various sizes and options and lengths and extrusion diameter, extrusion sizes and all this kind of stuff, and it will just create a bill of materials, drawings or whatever, all the dimensions that you need in order to create one specifically for your area, your height, your requirements, all in a calculator. I think that would be really cool. So yes, that's on the to-do list. But yes, this is just the shipping packing area to get stuff all packed up. So when you have an order, this is where it gets put together. Last but not least, in the middle of the room, we have the main desk setup where I'm working on things like this actual video that I'm recording right now. So we've got the Edamame headphones, which I absolutely adore. I use these for editing, listening to music, etc. Remarkable 2 tablet, which I use to take notes because paper notes just end up as a massive mess. I always keep a bunch of like prototype parts, so everything that I'm kind of working on or have recent versions of kind of ends up in a pile here. This is the Cauliflower that was printed by the Prusa Core 1, so I need to measure this and work out how that skew was. It's not a very big space, and it's not designed to have visitors, so this video is not an invitation to come and visit me, just so you know. But yes, this is my space, this is where I work, this is where everything gets shipped from, designed, printed, made, everything like that. So yes, now you know. This is the Vector3D headquarters. So hopefully more videos coming soon. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the shop for cool stuff that we sell, as you've seen a bunch of it now, and you know exactly where it comes from. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.